Hello everyone, good evening and welcome to Talking Reds, where we bring the latest Liverpool news, transfer news and much more. Tonight we're going to be talking Arne Slot and his system, his tactics, and also who do you think Arne Slot should be playing in his best 11? I want to have a live debate tonight with you guys in the chat. Hopefully make sure you get your comments in tonight. This is, like I said, it's going to be a very interactive chat. It's going to be a very interactive debate. I want to bounce off you guys, see who you think deserves to be starting the best 11, and see what you think about Arne Slot's system and whether it suits certain players or not. Because we had top of the league and won pretty much every game by the game against Crystal Palace, but there have been criticisms and concerns over the performances from the Reds. And that game against Palace, some would say that result was probably coming because of the way we've been playing this season. However, we have shown at times how good we are. And we don't need to play well to get results. And that's the sign of champions. Absolutely. Let me get that one thing straight. We don't need to play well to get results. We haven't done in many games, and we have got the result. That's why we're top of the league. However, I think at some point there needs to be improvements in performances, and especially when we've got a serious title race with Arsenal, potentially Man City, and obviously the Champions League as well. We certainly need to improve massively because we're going to come up against some tough sides like Barcelona, PSG, teams like that. We can't play the way we have against the likes of them because they will outplay us and beat us on the day. But yeah, I just want to get everyone in the chat and get your thoughts across into the chat. I'll bring them up on screen as well. Get your thoughts about who you think is in the best 11, what you think about Arne Slot's tactics and system as well. So right now we are seeing many changes from Slot, and that's what's confused me a lot this season. I mean, last season we saw Arne Slot play, let's say, in 4-3-3, the 4-2-3-1 we played, and we saw the same players playing over and over again. And he's already reiterated that, that's why we got tired at the end of the season. But yeah, you could understand why he had that same system every week and why he had that same formation every week and that same players every week, because we didn't have the depth that we do this season. We have got better depth this season. So understanding why players ran into the ground, this is why we needed more support coming in the summer. However, this season, I think we are still playing 4-2-3-1, but at the weekend, we saw a massive change when we put Verts onto the left wing. It was more like Verts coming inside. It was more like a 4-2-2 at some point, 4-2-2-2 at some point. But I use slightly worried, said Ahil. Good question. Am I slightly worried? Yeah, the word slightly. I think you used the right word there, slightly worried. I think you used the right word there, slightly worried, because there are concerns, and I'm gonna talk about the concerns. I'm not gonna hide away from the concerns. There are concerns there, but would I rather have concerns whilst being top of the league? Absolutely. I mean, it's not the worst circumstance to be in, is it? We're top of the league, and we're concerned at the performances. Just imagine those performances improve, and then it can only get better. If performances need to improve and we're top of the league, what a better situation would you want to be in? I'd rather be that than be 10th and be happy with performances, if that makes sense. Just being unlucky and not getting results. It is a results business and results matter. But the issue is with the first few games of this season is those performances relying on late goals every single week that we have done pretty much. Even at the weekend, if we got a point from that game, it would have been because of a late goal. So relying on late goals isn't sustainable. I think last season was different because relying on late goals last season worked for us, and people will go back to last season. But Man City and Arsenal don't think as bad as last season for me personally. So I think this season we need to start shutting games off a little bit earlier, beating teams, breaking teams down a little bit earlier, and it does come down to system and tactics at the end of the day. And I have absolute trust. Let me get this absolutely straight. I have 100% trust in Arne Slot to be the right person to do that, and ensure that we do change the way we go about things, because we have had a lot of new players. We have a lot of new players, and that does make a massive difference. Clearly, when we're trying to fit in a Florian Wirtz who is a natural 10, when last season we didn't play a natural 10 last season. But this season we've got a natural 10 in there now. We had Soboslai, who was an 8 playing 10. Now we've got a natural 10 in there. For me, I've said it for quite a while. I think we need a natural 6 in there. To have a natural 10, You need balance. A natural 10 needs a free roll. Therefore, we need a natural 6 to counteract that and have a number 8 in like a Gravenberch or a Szoboszlai, whoever there, to balance the midfield out. This is why we're not seeing balance in midfield, because Gravenberch wants to get forward. Szoboszlai's mind is really to get forward. Played number 10 last year. And McAllister is, for me, is more of a number 10 than Gravenberch and Szoboszlai. So when we're going into a game with two centre midfielders in the double pivot that want to go forward and a number 10, a natural number 10, then it's clear that it's imbalanced. It's clearly imbalanced. And that's why the role of a DM is so important. This is why I've been banging on about the DM needing to be a defensive-minded DM. And Gravenberch has done an unbelievable job at DM. And that's because of the intelligence of the player and how good the player is technically, and his mindset and the way he reads the game. You can play DM. I know many players that can play DM doesn't mean they're a DM. That they just got the attributes to play DM. A defensive-minded DM is one that likes to sit, and there's two DMs that you can have here. Defensive-minded one that likes to sit and pass and be the orchestra, or the conductor, in an orchestra, or be the sitter and intercept everything and break anything up and break all the play up. There's two different kinds of DM. A perfect DM is the one that can do everything. I mean, Adam Watton's pretty much that. Rodri is pretty much that. That can do everything, can control games as well as breaking everything up. I think Kante will quite like that. I don't think people realise how good Kante was on the ball. Oh, yes, he ran around and was everywhere and got involved in the play and, broke play up constantly. But on the ball, Kante was brilliant and driving forward was brilliant as well. So, the best teams of the world, the ones that can do all that, but are defensively minded. And that's where your balance comes in. Then it allows a Gravenberch to say, look at Gravenberch this season. Look how he spoke the other week when he said, "Oh, I'm getting forward a little bit more now, and that's what I want to do." He's been down to that for a long time. Last season, he sacrificed, and I said this last season many times, he sacrificed his own game for the team. Last season he did. Because he's not a defensive-minded 6, and he was playing so deep last season, he sacrificed his own game for that. But what a player. What a team player. What a player. I absolutely love Gravenberch. What a player he is. But in this system, with a Florian Wirtz, we need a natural 6. Right now, I think it's okay at times. If the only way Florian Wirtz, for me, can play as a 10 in this system is if it is Szoboszlai and Gravenberch who can alternate and make sure the person that is back stays back, for me, and really does play that deep playmaker sort of situation. But that's up to Slot to work that out as well. I think I said at the weekend before the game against Palace, I said, "What?" Someone asked me in the chat. I think it was Broven Copper asked me in the chat. Where do you think Florian Wirtz is going to play? I said it wouldn't surprise me if he's pushing McAllister into the team. It wouldn't surprise me if put Florian Wirtz out wide to allow him more space. The only way it allows him more space without going out wide, Florian Wirtz, is to have that natural DM. And this is what I've been banging on about for, she's talking about 2-3 years now. Even not on this channel as well. I've been on other channels as well. I've been banging on about it for a long time. It's just about balance. I think that's what it is. And it's hard to find that balance when you've got 2 8s in a double pivot that want to go forward and a number 10 in that forward. And this is why it made no sense on Arne Slot admitted it after the game. He said, we tried to overload the middle. That made no sense in that game for me. Go back to our preview on, when did we do our preview? Was it Saturday morning? Saturday morning, I also spoke about it Friday night. Saturday morning, go back to our preview, and I said, was it me and who was on the preview with me on Saturday morning? I can't think who was on the preview with me. But anyway, Saturday morning, the preview, we both said that Crystal Palace's best attributes are out wide. They're fullbacks. They're going to be going forward. So to me, overloading that midfield made no sense against Crystal Palace, because what we had to do is counteract that wide thing. And for Arne Slot not to see that, it's quite worrying. It is worrying. But I think he tried fixing that second half. Hence why he brought Gakpo onto the pitch to sort of focus on that wide area. But at that point in the first half, we'd lost the game. I know we come back into it, but the momentum was all with Palace. They dominated that first half. The first half was let down because of the tactics. It's because we tried overload in the middle, which Slot admitted to afterwards. That doesn't work when they play wing backs like they do and they get high up the pitch. That's where their threat comes from, Munoz and Mitchell. And we tried to overload in the midfield, which made no sense. Adam Wharton still, by the way, we overloaded the midfield. Adam Wharton still controlled the game. So, and that's the importance of an Adam Wharton, of a proper DM in that position. It's all about balance. And people will go, well, have you got coaching badges? Have you done this? Have you done that? I've just watched football my whole life. It's not hard to see. The reason why I said Gravenberch is a box-to-box footballer 2 years ago is because I watched him play football. You don't need coaching badges to understand football. Don't need this and that. Do I get things wrong? Absolutely. Arne Slot's going to get things wrong. Absolutely. He's a human being. He's going to get things wrong. Do I have absolute faith in Arne Slot to get it right? Yeah. Yeah. He's one of the best tacticians in world football. He's the best manager for Liverpool. He just won us the league last season at a canter with one signing. So we have got the right manager. It just, there are concerns about the system and the tactics to get the players, to get the best out of the players, what we're seeing. And this, we're talking about Mohamed Salah and all, and his form. Is Mohamed Salah's form worrying? Not. It is in a way because Salah should be doing. After last season, you expect Salah to be at least half of what he was last season, but he's nowhere near. However, I also think at the same time that the tactics are not helping Salah. Every single week, we've been talking on here about play Frimpong. Frimpong being that wide player, being the wide player, allows Salah to come inside. Mohamed Salah right now, is no longer a wide winger. And what I mean by that is not that he's still got pace, but don't like taking on his player now he used to do. When we first signed in the first few years, he was direct, wasn't he? Pretty much direct, like to take on his player. Always played on the fullbacks back. He likes literally tight close. He still likes doing that, by the way, tight close to the fullback. But right now, Mohamed Salah has changed his game. He's now more of like a creator / goal scorer. Therefore, he needs to come inside. Mohamed Salah is better coming inside into that box, either inside that box or just outside the box, where he can create outside the box or into the box and be the main goal scorer. That's where Mohamed Salah is best. But because Conor Bradley's been playing, or Szoboszlai's been playing, he's had to be the wide man because Bradley's been coming inside. That makes zero sense to me. Bradley coming inside makes zero sense to me. Is Bradley more a threat than Salah in front of that goal? No. So why is he closer to the goal than Salah? That's why I always say, look, Frimpong should be playing. Frimpong should be the wide man. And before the season, me and Reece did a formation stream and what I think Slot will play this season. And I said I think Slot's trying to overload the box. I didn't think he wanted to overload the midfield, but I said I think he's going to overload the box. He's going to have two wide players in Kirkes and in Frimpong going down the width, going down wide, or if byline or in further. And then he's going to have Kakpo coming into the box. He's going to have Salah coming into the box. Them two, and whoever's striker with it, Isak or Ekitike, they're the ones that are going to overload the box. That's what I thought we'd do this season. But what we seem to be doing is putting too many players going into midfield. So Salah's coming inside. He's not going towards the box. He's not even coming inside. The only time we've seen Salah come inside more was Atletico Madrid. And that, funnily enough, was his best game. And that's where Slot said after the game, I enjoyed Salah tonight because he was more involved in the game. So I'm looking at it and thinking, so Salah coming inside against Atletico Madrid, he's getting the best out of him. He's more involved in the game. So why is it not happening every week? Why are you having Bradley coming inside instead of Salah? If you enjoyed that, if you saw Salah at his best, then why are we not continuing with that? Why is Frimpong not getting the game? Because Frimpong played that night and allowed Salah to come inside. So why is Bradley playing and he comes inside? That makes zero sense to me. Just going to get through some of the chat. So welcome in, everyone. Make sure you do hit that like button on the video if you can. You don't have to like it if you don't want to, but it does help us out massively if you do like it. Tony said, I find Slot is changing the system far too much. Every game is a different system. How can a player settle if you don't know the main role is? Alisson will be playing up front next. I mean, he's got goals in him, man. Tony, he's got goals in him. Can't deny that. But that again, and people ask why, why is Florian Wirtz failing? Why is Mohamed Salah not playing his best? Because if we keep changing the system, how's anyone going to get used to it? They've got to get used to. They've already got to get used to the new players that they're playing with. But if we keep changing it up, then it's just going to confuse people. I've really been enjoying this. Thank you so much, Sheba. Thank you so much. I do try my best. Hopefully, just the start of this channel, though. I do. KSL left out the squad. Yeah, that's another thing. That's another thing that I can't get my head around. But I mean, he's taking Woodman, and he's taking 3 keepers instead of Chiesa. I honestly don't know. Naj in the chat as well, so make sure you do talk to Naj as well. He's asking you, are you all are as well? Salah is key to success. I think he can be. Is he as good as last season? He might not be as good as last season, but I think half of Salah last season is better than most wingers in world football. So I just think right now, until I see Salah getting played how Salah should be played right now, and that's getting him more inside, I can't have a full opinion on Salah and whether it is getting worse or not. I can't, because we need to see him come inside. And the only time we've got the best out of Salah this season is Atletico Madrid. And that is why we played well. So until I see that from Arne Slot more often, where he's coming inside, someone else go wide, like a ping pong, then I think the only way I have a full opinion on whether Salah is losing it or not in terms of his ability is if I see him play to his correct ability by the manager, and that's down to tactics and down to systems. But there's parts as well that sort of this season has been fantastic with systems. We saw against Atletico Madrid how good we was, and that's why he got Salah coming in. But then we find the trickiness for them with Isak, because if you watch the game on Saturday, Florian Wirtz was going further up than Isak. That again, why is Florian Wirtz going past Isak? He can go past Isak, but he's more forward than Isak many times. Why, when Isak should be our main goal scorer now? I know we've got Salah still, but Isak is our record-breaking transfer striker. He's the one that should be in the box more often than not, more than anyone else. But this is what I asked this morning. If we had bought players for buying players, or if we bought players for a system, because right now the players that we've bought in the Wirtz and Isak don't really suit the system that we're playing at the moment. Ekitike does, because if Wirtz is going to go beyond the striker, Ekitike works a little bit more. Because I think Ekitike likes to come back a little bit more than what Isak does. Isak is a goal scorer. His mind is to go score goals. I think Ekitike is being better at the link-up play than what Isak has, but that's not on Isak. I think we need to look at. I don't know if I'd even play. If you're asking me, what formation would I play? It's tricky because I don't think there's anything wrong with the formation. I just think we need to maybe change up the tactics a little bit. Again, if Gakpo's not playing well, we need a different kind of winger to Gakpo, a direct player. I think we've played Kerkez wrong. Kerkez has been shocking, by the way, most of the season. He had one good game against Everton, but he's been shocking. But what doesn't help Kerkez either is the fact that he's coming inside as a centre-back. That's not the Kerkez we bought. We bought Kerkez for what he can do going back and forth on that wing. We didn't buy Kerkez to be a centre-back. So, again, whilst the individual's not playing well, you can always look at the tactics that's not helping him and not getting the best out of him. And that is down to coaching, down to Slot at the end of the day. It's down to coaching. Why are we bringing Florian Wirtz inside as an extra centre-back at times? It is far from that. If anyone that can do that, it'd be probably Bradley. I wouldn't even say Robertson. Maybe Bradley might come back and I think is better at defending maybe centre-back. But This is why fullbacks never really work as centre backs. Centre backs can work as fullbacks, so fullbacks an easier role. Like a Gomez, for example, centre back can go out wide and play well, but a fullback never plays well in the centre. This is why Trent Alexander-Arnold was never a midfielder. Despite it must be about 70% of the Liverpool fan base said get Trent in midfield, and I was adamant saying no. It's a complete different ball game in midfield than it is at fullback. Complete different ball game. It doesn't work. Madrid was the best. Wirtz and Salah had exactly. So why have we not? This is what Collins brought this up, right? Madrid was the best. We saw Wirtz, best of Salah. One of the probably the best half we've had this season against Athletic Madrid. That first half. So why have we not stayed with that system? Why have we not stayed with that team? Let me bring the team up. Let me bring the team up. 1 second. I'm just gonna go back to the Atletico Madrid team. 1 second. I'm sure Frimpong started. 1 second, guys. 1 second. Right, let me go on to the matches. Right, let me go to the Atletico Madrid team. Right. The lineup for Atletico Madrid. Alisson Becker in net. Frimpong right back. Kanate, Van Dijk, Robertson, Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, Salah, Wirtz, Gakpo, Isak. That was the starting lineup, and obviously Ekitike came on in the second half. Conor Bradley came on in the second half for Frimpong, 58th minute. Ekitike came on and Isak. So since that Atletico Madrid team, that first half, the Atletico Madrid game, we've not seen that. I don't think we've seen that starting 11 since. Why? So we've not seen Frimpong at right back and Robertson at left back in the same team. So since then, let me go over games. 1 second, guys. So since then, we've had Everton game. We played Bradley at right back. We brought Kirkes back in. We played McAllister instead of Szoboszlai as a double pivot. We took Wirtz off, and we took Isak off Ekitike, which I don't mind. I don't mind Ekitike or Wirtz, if I'm honest. Not Wirtz, Isak or Ekitike, if I'm honest. I'm not even bothered about either one of them. They're both good enough for me. But again, look, the changes we made from that game, we played our best football against Atletico Madrid. The game after in the Merseyside derby, we made the fullback changes, the midfield changed, and the striker changed. From our best 45 minutes this season. And then against Southampton in the League Cup, also we had many changes there because it was League Cup. But against Crystal Palace, what do we go with again? We went with Florian Wirtz on the left, Szoboszlai, McAllister, and Gravenberch in midfield. We went with Conor Bradley again at right back and Kirkes at left back. So our best first 45 minutes, we've had 3 games since we've not seen anywhere near that first half team since. So you're asking my best team right now, and Alexis McAllister right now is not fit enough to start games for me. And he's struggling in him because of it. But he's still our most important midfielder at times. It's still technically one of I think, our best midfield, him and Gravenberch. But right now, how I would see McAllister is either him or Wirtz plays 10. That's me. That's how I see it. That double pivot for me right now should be Gravenberch and Szoboszlai. That's the best double pivot we've got at the club because them two sacrifice their own game for the team. So when Gravenberch goes forward, Szoboszlai's happy to sacrifice and do his bits at the back. When Szoboszlai goes forward, Gravenberch is happy to sacrifice and sit back. Right now, I don't think McAllister's quite fit enough to do that, to keep going across. So right now, I'd either have them to a double pivot, and John said it was my fullbacks for tomorrow's game. The best fullbacks right now, in terms of form and in terms of what I saw this season, is Robbo and Frimpong. So if we are going to continue with that, bring the left back in as an extra centre back, I'd rather be Robbo for experience and his know-how of the game. And that suits Robbo more than it does Kirkes massively. Because Robbo is not that really box-to-box winger, that fullback anymore that he used to be. He's not got the legs for it. So he has got the brain and the experience to drop in as a centre-back if needs be. Frimpong, again, he should be the fullback for me right now to get the best out of Salah. Salah needs to come inside. Tomorrow, also, I would, like I said, if Florian Wirtz is going to play, it needs to be at 10. And if it's not Florian Wirtz, it needs to be McAllister at 10. keep Gakpo out wide. And if Gakpo's not playing well, it's got to be Chiesa, it's got to be Rio. Because especially against low block teams, we talk about low block teams. The way you beat low block teams is if you have direct players. And when you're not, when we're coming inside all the time, inside, with the fullbacks coming inside, with the wingers coming inside, that you don't beat low block teams like that. They want that to happen. Low block teams are laughing at you. If you're crossing from deep or you're shooting from long range constantly, low block teams are like, do it all day. What low block teams don't like is direct wingers and direct wide players. Like that's why against Burnley, that's why they struggle when Frimpong came on the pitch. Or like a Rio comes on the pitch. Because what they do is they take their fullback on. And when you take a fullback on, the whole system's got to change. Your defenders, your centre backs have got to move over to cover. So that's their low block being broken down. That's their wall being broken down. The only way you do that is if you have direct players on the pitch. And why Luis Diaz was good competition for Gakpo. I know, Luis Diaz, he wanted to go, so we had to get rid of him. But the fact that Gakpo right now is playing every week no matter what, that's a big issue because he's cutting inside all the time. If it's not working, then we need something different. Chiesa's got to play. Rio and Gamo's got to play because there's something different. They go at their fullbacks. They don't mind taking them on. And that's what beats low block teams. We've got to, and for me, there's not many better managers in world football. It does change up things in play. So I'm hoping Slot starts not relying on changing in play, but I hope it starts with certain things. Do you think we should have had a long pre-season so we could have a longer working out a system? Well, obviously, what happened with Diogo, unfortunately, that was into pre-season, wasn't it? Unfortunately, so I don't think pre-season really made much difference this time. I think they had quite a long pre-season to work on the system. So just going to go on to some more as well. Agreed that lineup first half tactics needs to be regular. Vert's issue is that he's trying to try and make too many quick passes like Messi instead of making straightforward runs, passes that are on. Once he simplifies his decisions, he will be fine. I think Verts will absolutely be fine. Verts is too talented of a player not to be fine. We just need to make sure that we're getting the best out of him and he's played in that position, the right position, and which is the number 10. It's not out wide, and if we are going to play him out wide, we can't play him out wide in a game against Crystal Palace where they relied on wide players. And I said this before. When teams like Crystal Palace that rely on their wide players, whether it be fullbacks or wingers, we need a natural left winger and a natural right winger on either side because they know their defensive work. Verts won't know that. It made no sense for me to have Verts playing against Palace on the wing. For me, it could work in certain games. I think Verts as a winger works in big games against bigger teams because, I think those times where we're not controlling the game as much as we want to, but against teams that are just willing to sit back, it doesn't work for me because he's coming inside and it's just too many players in that same position. So, do you think it's going to be a hostile atmosphere will play a part tomorrow? From what I gather, it's most well. Galatasaray ways, it's their fans are incredible. I honestly think that they are one of the loudest fans, and it does play a massive part. Plays a massive part in games. These away games to places like Galatasaray, places that the fans are really up for the game. It plays a massive part, and the travel as well. It is 4 hours to Turkey? I've been to Turkey myself. It's 4 hours on the plane, so it's a long trip over. It's not an easy place to go. It's an hard game, and I think it comes down to a lot of it comes down to mentality. Can you deal with with the atmosphere? That's how Galatasaray beat teams. That it is like a 12th man there. It's like Anfield on a European night, especially European nights. The crowd get behind them. It can be a tough place to go and play, and so I think it plays a massive part tomorrow. But I'm hoping, and what the best thing tomorrow's Liverpool to do in tomorrow's game is score early. I think the previews tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. So if you join us at 9 o'clock for the proper preview, I'll go through it. But yeah, I think Liverpool need to score early tomorrow for me. It would work if you had Frimpong or Kirkers making outside runs, giving the freedom. Exactly that, Colin. Exactly that. That's what my thoughts is with Frimpong. I think Frimpong needs to play to get the best out of Salah. And again, it depends what team as well. I think it depends what team you're against. To me, as smart as Arne Slot is, and as how well drilled he is tactically, it surprised me that he wanted to overload the midfield against Palace. It surprised me because we said in the preview their threats come out wide. Their threats come from their fullbacks, from their wing backs in Munoz and Mitchell, and it also comes from Pino and Sarr out wide as well. So for me to overload midfield and leave all those gaps there for there made zero sense, and that's why we got punished for it. Because Munoz and Mitchell had so much space to run into. It's why one long ball over the top, and their fullbacks or their wingers were in every time. Because we vacated that position because we overloaded the midfield. We brought everyone inside, which to me against Palace makes no sense. But against Galatasaray, what formation did Galatasaray play? 1 second, I'm just going to go through Galatasaray 1 second. I'll say I'll go through it tomorrow properly in the morning. So Galatasaray play 4-2-3-1. That's how we play with Gundogan behind Icardi. So tomorrow against Galatasaray, we sort of could play 4 inverts out wide. I think, and against the Galatasaray, it would actually work against 4 players there because at centre back they've got Singo and Davison Sanchez. You know, we know how Davison Sanchez, how reckless he can be. We saw that at Tottenham. So I think Verts out wide could actually work tomorrow, but I wouldn't do that though. I'll go about it tomorrow. I'll go about it a little bit more in the preview tomorrow morning. But that's what I think tomorrow anyway. But I still think I think we win no matter what team we put out tomorrow, if I'm honest. But yeah, for my best team right now going forward though, all in all, best team going forward. The most, like I said, it can change not game by game, but depending on the game, you can change the formation. Like I said, against Palace, I don't agree with Wirtz going out wide, but tomorrow I can see why Wirtz could actually work out wide. Only, in certain games, I can see why that would happen. But the most regular team I want to see right now, in terms of form, I'm basing this on form. I'm basing this on fitness. Frimpong right back. I'm not even need to talk about the keeper. Konate, Van Dijk at centre back. We don't really have anyone else anyway. So even if Konate is playing poor, we don't even have anyone else anyway. So, but I think Konate can play out that anyway. He's played poor and he's played brilliant. He's played poor again. I'm sure he played brilliant again. So Konate, Van Dijk at centre back. Right now, it'd be Robbo. Right now, it'd be Andy Robertson. In form, right now, Andy Robertson has not put a foot wrong when he's played. The double pivot in midfield would be Szoboszlai and Gravenberch. McAllister right now is not fully fit for me to even consider him. And Szoboszlai and Gravenberch have not put a foot wrong as a double pivot for me this season. So why would you change it? Salah on the right, yes, he's not playing the best, but I think that help. Frimpong playing will get the best out of him. Wirtz at 10. And like I said, Wirtz at 10, I'm not bothered even if it was Maka at 10. Either one could play at 10. And right now, only just, especially tomorrow, right now, if you're asking me out of everyone, I'd play Chiesa left. But Chiesa is not taken tomorrow for whatever, as Steve says it. What a piss take. What does the player have to do? I am not a clue, Steve. I couldn't really tell you. I couldn't really tell you what Chiesa has to do because he's done everything. Right now, I still stick with Gakpo out wide. Up front, and in fact, actually, instead of Gakpo, I'd maybe try Ekitike out wide on left, and then Isak at 10, at 9. Isak as a striker. But if Isak in he's still getting in fit, I'm happy with Ekitike up front and Gakpo on the wing. That's got a very, very good team. Got a very, very good team. Frimpong, Gomez, VVD. I won't play Gomez still over Kante, if I'm honest. Not the way he played against Southampton. Frimpong, Gomez, VVD, Robbo, Grav, Sobo, Wirtz, Isak, or Hugo. Yep. Salah, Gakpo with Rio ready off the bench. Tomorrow, yeah, I can't even put my finger on what is going on with Chiesa. I couldn't tell you because Chiesa is the ultimate professional. The way he is not getting chances, it makes it. Is there something more to it? I want to know there's something more to it. I don't know. I don't get it. I wonder if someone asked Slot about it. Will there be a press conference tomorrow? So I wonder if someone asked Slot about it. To me, it makes no sense. Chiesa deserves to play. He doesn't just deserve to go in the squad. He deserves to play. He deserves to start for me. I'd start him over Gakpo personally right now in terms of form, but it is what it is. The fact that we are keeping Chiesa at home shows you how much of a good team we've got there. But again, taking three keepers, I understand why people take three keepers. Like I can understand like World Cups, when they take three keepers to World Cups, but not for one match. I don't get that. I don't get that personally. If Gakpo takes the P, then put in Rio based on Kanate's mental errors worry me. Only reason for Gomez. I get it, but I think it's not like Gomez is picking up trees, is it? When he plays, I mean, he was poor against Southampton. And that was Southampton couldn't play a pass. So for me, Kanate, right now, all we've seen from Kanate is either really crap or brilliant. That's all we've seen this season. It's not an average game this season. Kanate, he's been either crap or brilliant. I'm just hoping it's a brilliant performance from Kanate, and I do think he will. I've not lost faith in Kanate. So many have, but Kanate is very, very good, a very, very good footballer. And I just think right now, I don't think what helps Kanate is that obviously what's going on with the fullbacks are not playing that well, and the fact that we haven't got a defensive man in midfield either. But Van Dijk's different, isn't he? Van Dijk plays good no matter who's next to him, no matter what's next to him. That's just Van Dijk. That's what I'm saying. That's why he's another level. But yeah, tomorrow it's been an interesting game, but I do think Liverpool will get it right, and I do think Arne Slot will get it right. And people saying, I've seen many saying, why is everyone criticizing Arne Slot? He won us the league last season because we're watching the football with our eyes. We're not basing it off last season. We're based off what we're seeing this season. Klopp deserves a criticism. However, Slot deserves a criticism. However, Arne Slot is still the best manager we can ask for. He's brilliant. He's one of the best tacticians in world football. Do I have absolute faith in Arne Slot to turn things around in terms of performances? Results, so we're getting results, but we still need to improve performances massively to ensure that's sustainable. I have absolute faith in Arne Slot to do that. And I think he will start at some point, which is scary for the rest of Europe, by the way. At some point, it's going to start clicking. And when it does click, and we're already top of the league, we've already won, we've only lost one game and won every other, then it's scary for the rest of Europe that we haven't got into any form yet. And Slot hasn't found his best team yet. So I'm not worried in terms of the season, but I am concerned about certain issues. And on this channel, as always, I will always talk about those issues. I'll always talk about those concerns. I won't ever hide from them. Because if we hide from them, then that's not me being truthful. And that's me being biased or covering my eyes and closing my ears and ignoring what's going on. And I'd never be like that. I'll always be truthful and I'll always be honest with you guys on here. Thank you for watching anyway. I thought it'd just be a nice special kind of episode tonight, talking about tactics, talking about the best team going forward. I still think we should get Gahey in January, but if we don't, I still think we need to bring him to the back door, Colin. I do think that. But yeah, I think we can't be in a better position right now. We are top of the league. Top of the league. We've won the only game we've played in Champions League. We're through in the next round of the Cup, and we're yet to play well. And we're yet to get even the new players playing well. So for me, I say we're yet to play well. We have played well in certain games, but on a consistent basis, we had to play well. So it's scary for the rest of Europe, but like I said, we won't hide from certain concerns on this channel. Thank you for watching today, guys. Make sure you do have a brilliant night. I'll speak to you all in the morning at 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to do the match preview for the Galatasaray game. I don't know if Naj is going to join me. I'm coming on tomorrow now, Naj. 9 o'clock in the morning. Match preview. I think it's 9 o'clock. I'm doing 9 o'clock preview tomorrow morning. So make sure you do join us for that. And as Bourbon Copper, it does help us massively if you can like the video and if you do subscribe to the channel. I appreciate everything that anyone can do that. If anyone can do that, I appreciate everything. Like I said, don't ever have to, but it helps out massively in terms of the growth of the channel. I'm trying to grow it back up to what the regular views that we used to get. We used to get quite a lot in at one point, but it's died down since like deadline day happened, and then algorithm and YouTube changed a little bit. So trying to go it back up to that. But yeah, thank you everyone that has joined us tonight. Thank you everyone for coming in and watching. I appreciate you all. I'll speak to you all tomorrow morning at 9. Have a good night, guys.